Hi, Eric Wilson here, independent licensed mechanic with 30 years of experience. In the next 7 to 8 minutes, I'm going to take you through and show you the inside story on this vehicle. I understand that there was a number of issues that were cited by a different mechanic. I would just like to show you for yourself what is or isn't. Okay, first of all, just on starting off in the front right tire, you've got about 80 to 90% on aggressive snow tires, which is definitely a lot of meat left there. This is your right outer tie rod, and it is tight, critical, because the only thing holds the wheel to the steering. This is your lower ball joint here. Lower ball joint here holds the wheel to the chassis, and it is tight as well, critical. The right, probably your left sway bar link connected from here intact and doing its job. Your brakes are down. Your brakes are down about 3 mil. Yeah, I'm going to say definitely you need a set of brakes because your brakes are definitely down. They're not out, but they're definitely down. Your upper ball joint here is tight. Your brake hose here, no cracks, no issue with that. This is your outer CV boot. Now the outer CV boot's full of grease. If it was leaking, you see grease all over the place. It is dry. This is your inner CV boot. Again, full of grease, and if it was leaking, you see dripping all over the place. Now, a leak point, if it's going to leak, it's going to leak right here, behind here, because this is where the drive shaft comes out of the diff, and you can see for yourself, good and dry. So no leaks on that. Now, on your, just a shot at the bottom of the differential there. Again, if it was leaking, you see oil all over there, and that is not leaking. So on the front left side, now another leak point, if it's going to leak, it'd be right here where the drive shaft comes into the front diff. See for yourself, good and dry. Now another, okay, and it was stated by the other mechanic that there was a oil leak from here, and I see a stain. Yeah, if anything, we need to change up this bolt right there. So that, yeah, I would say change up that bolt right there because it looks like a bit of moisture on the side of the pan there, okay? So yeah, that definitely is something that can be done. Now coming across to the right front tire, again, about 80 to 90% all on aggressive snow tires. Front brakes, yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, definitely. You want to change out front brakes and rotors because they are, they're low and the rotors are pretty rusty. The lower right ball joint is tight. Your outer CV boot here, full of grease, good and dry. Your inner CV boot, again, full of grease, good and dry. More importantly, a leak point, a little harder to see this. Let's see, we're going to get a shot here. Okay, if you can see, yeah, right there. Okay. If it was going to leak, it would leak right there because that's where the drive shaft comes out, and you can see for yourself, good and dry. So no leaks that I can see so far. Now, okay, other than that one bolt that needs to be changed in the back of the motor there. Okay, so that is going to be the right outer tie rod is tight. Now this, if you follow this shock up here, this is a strut. It's full of oil, and if it was leaking, you see it dripping all the way down there. Your spring suspension is intact with no cracks, no breaks. Your sway bar link, your right sway bar link connected from here to here, intact, doing its job. No cracks on your brake hose. Okay, so far we're going to replace a bolt up in here where the starter motor is. And I'm not seeing any other leaks other than front brakes and rotors on so far. Okay, now this is the bottom of the water pump there, and a little bit of show on coolant. A little bit of show. Not a drip, but there is definitely a little bit of show on there. This is your oil cooler lines 1, 2, 3. And 4, and a little bit of sweat on your oil cooler lines and your engine cooler lines there. Oh yeah, a little bit of sweat on them as well. So now the bottom of the motor, another leak point would be right here under the from the front pulley. That's good and dry. So Yeah, that's what I'm finding so far for lines there. Now, the bottom of your transmission here is another leak point. If it's going to leak, you'd see it leaking right across the bottom here where the tranny motor meets the tranny. So that's going to dry. Another leak point would be right here from the drive shaft coming out of the transfer case to the front diff. Another leak point would be this where the drive shaft comes out for the rear. See for yourself, good and dry. Now these things right here okay, here's your one cat, here's your other one. Big problem with these cats, people reach under and they go cut, and they go cut and cut and cut, and you've got yourself about a $1,500 repair, and these cats are going for about $200-300 at the wrecking yard, and they're getting stolen all the time. Ask Roger about a catalytic theft protection system. It's very cheap. In fact, just it's worth your money. It's worth it's like $120, and I cover this thing with stainless steel cables so that they reach under, they hit the cables, that's it, they forget it, move on, and you save yourself the grief of about a $1,500 repair, because it's epidemic. So ask Roger about that, and I can definitely, he'll put you on to me and I can help you with that. Now, the other leak point would be right here where the drive shaft goes into the differential, good and dry. Another leak point, if it was going to leak, you'd see it behind here, because this is where the drive shaft, this is where the axle, if it's going to leak, it's going to leak right here. Okay, another leak point is going to be right here, because this is where the drive shaft comes out from the, and that's good and dry. Now your rear suspension, no cracks, no breaks. Okay, your left rear shock, you follow it up, full of oil, and if it was leaking, you'd see it dripping all the way down here. So that's good and dry. Another leak point, bottom of the bottom of the diff here, good and dry. And then coming across to the right rear tire, about 80% tread on aggressive snows. Your exhaust intact, no issues with your exhaust that I can see. Your right rear spring suspension, no cracks, no breaks. Your another leak point, if it was leaking, you'd see it dripping down at the back of the plate here, but that's good and dry. Your right rear shock, follow it up, good and dry. So now your rear brakes, you got about, I'd say about, you got about 20, I'd say about 10 to 15,000 K left on your rear brakes. Front brakes, not as much. I'm saying that definitely I'd say changing up the front brakes, but the rear brakes, I wouldn't. You still got maybe about 40% life left on that. So here's your spare, you got your class 3 hitch, 7-prong plug. Body wise, man, this is really, really clean. I'm not seeing any kind of rust in here at all. This is, hey, and the quarter panels there, very, very clean. Just even under the box, very clean, very, very clean. So that's rust-wise, I'm not seeing anything of any issues for that. Okay, with the motor running, I am not hearing anything of any concern. Another thing I always look for is white goo under the oil cap, and it would be an indication of oil and antifreeze mixing together, which would be a head gasket or an internal leak. And this is clean. I'm not seeing any indication of that at all. In fact, this vehicle, as far as I can tell, has been well maintained. And so that's my estimation of what this vehicle is, and hopefully it helps you make an informed decision. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Oh, okay, this is your engine control module, and system scanning results normal, which means that there is no check engine codes in your PCM. Anyway, so hopefully this will help you make an informed decision, and thank you very much, and have a good day.